The bar for multiplayer games is so low right now that people are playing Valorant. Overwatch 2 will undoubtedly become the big game when it launches.
Valorant.
But are we going to be playing this game for a couple weeks or a couple years? Overwatch was a great game. Great game. I put over 1,000 hours into Overwatch, okay? That being said, if Overwatch 2 is
I've almost put 1,000 hours into Warzone already.
a couple new maps and some heroes, I will be very disappointed. First, let's talk about the new co-op. From what I can tell, co-op is the primary focus of Overwatch 2. Like I said before, the most interesting part of this game to me is the roster. You have all of these different characters with different play styles, and I think by focusing more on PvE, you can really get more creative with character abilities and making every hero feel broken in their own way. Remember when
Every hero in Overwatch is broken. I realize there's heroes that are, the floor of their effectiveness is higher than others. If you ever want to know how broken everything is in Overwatch, just play DPS. You will see how insanely overpowered every other hero is in this whole game. Everything is overpowered other than the DPS. It's absolutely ridiculous when people say that, because I can already tell where this is going.
Overwatch first came out and Roadhog could hook players that were playing on different maps than him. He could throw that dumbass hook around corners, and then once he pulled you in,
this was so annoying.
It was awesome, and it was insanely broken. What's nice about PvE is that you can allow characters to be broken and really focus on empowering the player. During BlizzCon, they showed off this new skill tree feature. It seems like the overarching goal of the co-op mode is to level up each individual character.
Okay, he says that because it's PvE, you can allow heroes to be broken. That is true. I don't contest that point, but that's not Overwatch. Like, all of this that you see on your screen right now, this is not Overwatch. Like, what is this? This is not the game that I fell in love with, that all of you guys fell in love with. This is something completely alien to the Overwatch that we all love. This is a completely different thing. I just want people to keep that in mind when they watch this, because it's not the same thing. He's trying to take the old Overwatch experience, and he's trying to quickly shuffle you into like this. It's slow down a bit. This is not Overwatch.
And as you level up, you'll get to select talents on the skill tree, like my favorite games, Warcraft and League of Legends. If the talents on the skill tree are some bullshit like do 10% more headshot damage or move slightly faster, I don't think that is going to motivate anyone to level up. But if it's goofy shit, like
how much does he play League of Legends against NPCs, right? How often does he play League of Legends against AIs? Against computers? Does he play, or does he play PvP? Because right there he's comparing League of Legends to Overwatch and this hypothetical skill tree. He's comparing the skill tree of League to the hypothetical skill tree in Overwatch, and then he's equating it to Overwatch, the PvP aspect of it. Once again, that's not Overwatch. Overwatch is not a it's not a PvE game, I mean to say. It's a PvP game. These are computers. This is NPCs, okay?
This boulder move that may have.
And if he was going to push back, I would ask him, how often do you play against the computer or NPCs in League of Legends? You don't, because that's not League, and this is not Overwatch.
That is awesome. That makes me want to get made to the max level now. The talent they showed for Reinhardt, though, seemed a lot more subtle. It makes it so his shield heals him when it has over 50% health, which it doesn't sound super exciting, but it does incentivize you to use the shield, and I think this is one of the areas where Blizzard really needs to step it up, is practicality.
Okay, listen, I know that this guy probably is not that high of a rank. Every main tank player loves to play Reinhardt. It's not hard to incentivize people to play Reinhardt at all. At all. Everyone loves him. He's awesome. Everyone loves him.
Step it up is practicality. Overwatch 2 needs to be developed around how players actually play Overwatch instead of developing the game around how you're supposed to play. People will naturally gravitate towards the fun.
I mean, that's pragmatism. I'm really big on that. I agree.
part of any game, which is why even in Diamond they still refuse to push the fucking payload. Why won't anyone push the payload? Because it's boring. Why do people on defense always overextend and get caught way out? Because they want to get kills, which is fun to do. The solution isn't to embrace players' selfish instincts, but instead to trick them into playing like a team with selfish rewards.
What's pivotal?
At a high level, the reason people push out and die on defense is because they try to put a lot of poke damage in really early so they can get the advantage later in the fight. You put a lot of pressure in early and then you get the advantage late. That's why people poke out and die on defense at a higher rank. I don't know about a lower rank. In lower rank, people literally probably do what he says. They probably just run in and feed, but that does not happen at a higher rank. Yeah, I just wanted to say that because it's just more evidence that he's the lower ranked player or a casual player, dare I say.
About the only info Blizzard has given us on the new PvP is that tanks are going to be more like DPS, healers are going to be tankier, and DPS are going to be faster. These changes sound like a direct response to roll queue. Hypothetically, let's say it's 7 p.m. If you want to play a match of Overwatch in roll queue as a DPS character, you can get into a match at about 10 p.m. the next day. If you have a fast pass. What's the fast pass? That's the prize you get for playing tank or healer because nobody wants to play those roles. Why not? Because all of the fun characters are DPS, which is also more than half the roster.
True. I do agree with that statement mostly. For most players, these are the most fun ones, but like I said, I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record. At a higher level, dude, people love to play Zen. They love to play Ana. They love to play BAP. I hate how much they love to play BAP. And, you know, I love Diva. People love Diva. There's so many Diva one tricks, Roadhog one tricks. People love Winston. People love Hammond. They love Zarya. There is no shortage of fun heroes. The reason people pick DPS so often is because Overwatch is an FPS game, and a lot of the fans of it, including myself, they want an FPS experience. If you go through this list, Echo, Genji, Hanzo, McCree, Reaper, Soldier, Sombra, Tracer, Widow, you know, Ashe, Bastion, these are all FPS heroes, right? Like, just look at the ones that I named here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9, like, core FPS mechanical based heroes. The 9 heroes I just picked out of this list, all of them include very fundamental FPS elements. That's 9. And then look at the total here for tank. You got 8 here. 8. And down here with support, you got 7. We got 9 just core DPS, FPS, first-person shooter-based heroes. That is why people play DPS so much, is because they want that FPS experience. These other roles don't offer it as much. Support offers it more than tank, and you guys get the picture.
Fast Pass is a practical solution to excessive roll queue times, which was in turn a solution to...
And there's a reason I'm putting an emphasis on the FPS aspect of the DPS heroes.
I'm Hanzo, dude.
Hanzo, will you please swap?
Yeah, I don't know if we need a Hanzo.
Could we not have a Widow? Can you not play Bastion so you can kill?
It didn't take people a long time to suck all the fun out of Overwatch. It went from being the game with all these unique characters to the game where if you don't pick the one right character, you get yelled at by some weirdo. Make no mistake, there are good characters and characters that are virtually useless, but once people started caring about which
people are always way over dramatic in the death of a game. Like this person is saying that Overwatch had like a glory day, and it definitely did. I was there, and I was top 500, by the way. You know, back when it meant something. But anyways, people always like, they're so dramatic when they describe like the glory days passing in a game. It's almost like they're excited to see them pass. Most of these people are so casual. How many people do you know in your life that actually put in like 1,000 hours to the game that they like? Most of the people that I see in my life are all casual. I would say 95% of people that I actually know in life are casual gamers. It sucks to think about, but that is seriously a majority of players. They will say that they move on from a certain game because they changed this one thing that I loved, or, you know, they used to be like this and now it's just not the same, or it got stale. You know, they always have these excuses or whatnot. But if you actually look at, their catalog of games, they play everything. They're playing Fall Guys, they're playing Among Us, they're playing Daisy, they're playing Escape from Tarkov, they're dipping into Overwatch, they're dipping into Warzone, they buy the new Call of Duty, they play League of Legends, they play Counter-Strike, they play everything. And then they will look at one title and they will say that, oh, well, that game, they ruined it. They did this thing that ruined it. It's like, man, I kind of feel like you just move on from every single game that you play. Like just observing, and seeing patterns. You're kind of a casual gamer, which is fine. But these types are always really dramatic with the death of a game.
Characters were good. You saw Overwatch start to collapse. Tracer, she can dash around, her pistols make this cool sound effect, and she can rewind
See, Overwatch start to collapse, he says. He's probably said that about every game he's ever played.
time. She is one of the most fun, exciting characters in the game. In 6,000 matches of playing Overwatch, I have seen 5 people do good on Tracer. Overwatch 2 is not going to magically
Absolutely absurd statement. He says, and I know he's mostly joking or less or more so joking, in 6,000 matches, and I know that's like hyperbole, but like, come on. Tracer is so good. I have seen so many Tracers solo carry. I know you guys have too. A Tracer that goes in your backline and gets a pick on your supports the whole game. Who hasn't experienced that in Overwatch? Honestly, I have to question, does this guy even play the game in comp? Seriously, does he even play it? That's such a ridiculous statement. They came out with like Brig to counter Tracer. She was like the most overpowered hero. One of the most overpowered heroes of all time. To say that he never sees Tracers do well, I don't know, man. I don't know.
balance every character in this game. That's never going to happen. But Blizzard, seriously? Is this the best you can do? Widowmaker is one of the worst characters in the game. No, don't even try to argue. Everybody knows Widowmaker sucks. So
Absolutely ridiculous statement. Once again, Widowmaker sucks. Does he even play the game in comp? I need to know this. Don't get me wrong. There is bad players that will play Widowmaker, but to say that Widowmaker sucks, she's one of the most overpowered heroes of all time. How long was she meta in the Overwatch League? She's the type of hero that can get a pick with every single bullet she shoots. Every single bullet, she can get a kill with it. The zoning potential that Widowmaker has from just existing. As soon as people hear in their headphones her heels walking around when you're on defense on King's Row, and you can hear those heels, you hear the grappling sound, immediate fear. Immediate, you are getting out of LOS, you are backing up, you're already on your heels. To say that this hero sucks is, again, it's just false. It's just a ridiculous statement.
So here you have this horrible, terrible, unplayable, garbage character called Widowmaker. What does Blizzard do? They give her the worst ultimate in the game. They give the worst character in the game.
The worst ultimate in the game is definitely High Noon, and close behind it is Tactical Visor. And I would say, Widowmaker's ultimate is pretty short-lived. It's definitely down the list. It's one of the worst ones. But to say it's the worst when High Noon and Tactical Visor are in the game is just ridiculous.
The worst ultimate in the game. Then you have Junkrat, one of the best characters in the game. Here is his ultimate. Unbalanced characters are just the tip of the iceberg, though. What about steamrolls? Multiplayer games are at their best when both teams
Ridiculousness. It just tells me this guy's a really low rank.
have a decent chance of winning. How often do you boot up Overwatch, come out of a match and say, damn, that was a good match? Steamrolls suck at
I'd say like 1 in 15 games.
Yes, they are not fun, and they are very frequent. It isn't fun to obliterate a helpless team, and it's especially not fun to get completely dominated by a much better team. I think Roll Queue was Blizzard's attempt to make matches more of a tug-of-war, but it's really disheartening.
Not true at all. Oh, Roll Queue was put into motion, and then it was put actually into reality for one reason, and that reason is goats. There's no reason that Roll Queue exists beyond goats. Blizzard and the team over there had a very big dilemma where if you let people continue to pick whatever that they wanted, there was no reason to pick DPS because the DPS suck. All of them are underpowered, like I was saying earlier at the beginning of the video. If you guys want to know what heroes are overpowered in Overwatch, play DPS. If you play DPS, Soldier, McCree, and you might think I'm biased, I'm not biased here. I am not immune to being biased, but I know for a fact if anyone played those heroes, you will actually see so clearly what heroes are just completely ridiculous. Because it's almost every single one of them. Some of it you live with, and that's Overwatch, right? Some of them are just, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd how powerful some of them are. And Blizzard had no way of making the DPS heroes equal to the tank and the support heroes. If you think about it, a DPS hero only has 200 HP, most of them, even less in some cases. And then you have these off tanks like Diva even. She isn't even really known for that doing that much like damage over the course of a game. She will burst down a 200 HP squishy in like 1 second with her micro missiles. And then she also has 400 HP. Roadhog, he hooks a squishy, dead, done. And how much HP does he have? 500? He can one-shot you. He can walk into you. He can self-heal and just kill you. And spam right clicks, break a shield. And then you have this other role called DPS that is supposed to be the quote-unquote damage role. Every hero in the game does damage. Literally every single hero in the game. Sigma, if he rocks you and then shoots you, you're dead. Rock, dead. And then I'm here with my Soldier 76 pulse rifle. Damage. I do damage, guys. That's what I do. That's my role. I'm the damage dealer. Lucio rides on a wall and shoots a Widowmaker in the head with those little green circles he shoots. 3 crits, the Widow's almost dead. But yeah, I do damage, right? I play the damage role. Every hero in the game does damage. And there's no way for the development team to shorten the gap between the tanks, the supports, and then the DPS. You have the tanks and the supports and their powerfulness, and then you have the DPS here. If you were to make it equal, the DPS would control the game. They would be easily the best role. It would even be close, and I think that's what we saw early on, Season 1, Season 2. They don't want to go back to that. I understand why, and I don't want to go back to it either. Even though it would benefit me greatly, I don't want to go back to that either. That is why role queue exists. Because the only way that they can get people to play DPS is if they force you to. Don't get it wrong. You know, role queue forces you to pick DPS. It does not force you to make a balanced comp. It forces you to play DPS because no one would. That's what role queue is. Role queue is play DPS against your will queue. That's what it is. It's Blizzard's method of forcing you to pick DPS because, as you know, if they didn't force you to play DPS through role queue, no one would play it. And if they did, they would just lose every match. They would literally get reported for throwing. That's how bad DPS is.
Having to sit through that extended queue time just to play a 40-second steamroll match anyway. Nearly every Overwatch match is decided by positioning and timing. Can your team sync up good enough to push? Can you get your flankers and your front line moving in at the same time? If not, you lose. Overwatch 2 needs to give individuals or smaller groups something to accomplish. Maybe set up some side objectives like Heroes of the Storm. This way you can alternate between objectives and force teams to move around and adapt instead of just tunneling through one choke point the entire match. I think
What he just described, tunneling through a choke point for the whole match, that's what won Overwatch Game of the Year. Didn't it win Game of the Year 2 years straight? That's the game that we all fell in love with. That's why you guys are watching me right now. That's why XQC is famous. That's why Overwatch League is a thing. Like, bro, for him to say that is honestly, it's almost insulting to the game that I love, to say that it needs to be something more than that. The game just needs to be balanced, and it needs, obviously, the ranks need to be reset, but that's another topic. I don't want to get into that. But to say that what side quests are like the way forward, it's absolutely ridiculous. side quests are nothing but a cope, like something to do on the side. That's just a cope for people that suck at the game to feel like they're helping the team win. I made this analogy on stream. Have you ever played basketball with like your auntie or like your mom, and she doesn't really know how to shoot or rebound, but she can she can pass, right? She can do like a bounce pass. She understands the passing part of it. You know, that's what like these side things that he's mentioning would be. You know, the people that can't actually play, they would just like do that really well because they can't actually do the thing. I couldn't disagree more with that. That's so ridiculous. No one wants to shoot. I don't want to do, and I don't want to fight robots and the computer and NPCs while I'm trying to play a game of Overwatch. Overwatch is not me shooting AIs. It's so. Is this guy paid by Blizzard to start pushing their new MOBA agenda? I know Blizzard wants to make the game into like half a MOBA. Is he like getting paid by them to promote this like thinking? Like it's so crazy to me. Overwatch is an FPS game. That's what it was when we fell in love with it. It was not any of this.
I think you can sidestep a lot of the issues that Overwatch has with the co-op experience. However, people don't seem very excited for co-op. When you say co-op shooter nowadays, people think Destiny, Division, Anthem, Fallout 76. It doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. But what if I said Overwatch meets Left 4 Dead? See, now you're like, okay, Dunk, go on. The co-op in the original...
How about we keep Overwatch as Overwatch? Wow. That would be something.
Original Overwatch was a gimmick. It was something you played once, you went, oh, that was kind of neat, and then you never touched it again. The intensity of the PvP...
Wow, did you see those enemies? Oh my.
Wasn't there. The AI robots felt like they were just spawning in to die. They would just walk to their spot and stand there while you destroyed wave after wave of them. You look at something like Doom, the enemies are so engaging because they're all bouncing around the map in their own way. If you get too close, they'll whack you. If you run away, they'll chase you. Overwatch, the enemies are like Big Yoshi. They're just sitting there.
What he's describing here in Doom,
Whack you if you run
this guy said that he put 1,000 hours into Overwatch, right? That's what he said at the start of the video. Is he going to be describing the enemies in the PvE this is the same way after 1,000 hours? Is he going to describe these enemies after 1,000 hours of playing against them
after wave
this way?
You look at something like Doom, the enemies are so engaging because they're all bouncing around the map in their own way. If you get too close, they'll whack you. If you run away, they'll chase you. Overwatch.
Is that what he would say about it if he played it for 1,000 hours like he already has played Overwatch? No. He's going to know all of their movements. He's going to know when they're going to do them. He's going to know the speed that they do them. He's going to master it.
The enemies are like Big Yoshi. They're just sitting there. In the new Overwatch 2 video, Jeff Watch said, and I quote, "Yeah, we know the AI sucks ass, but maybe it won't suck ass later." They're showing all of these different types of enemies, like the fly guy and the bomb doggy and the smoker. There's a little clip of Lucio blasting robots into the side of a wall. They showed this badass technology where you can shoot robots into each other. You can shoot
None of this is groundbreaking in the gaming industry. This is all old.
legs off of a robot. They're saying there's going to be 100 different co-op missions. There's a lot to get excited about, and it's getting easier now to imagine the incredible game Overwatch 2 could be.
I see all this inspiring music and stuff makes me feel guilty now for being so pessimistic, but like I don't care. I'm going to say how I feel. This is not Overwatch. Like what he is describing for Overwatch 2 to be successful is not anything to do with Overwatch. I don't want to do co-op missions, man. I don't want to do co-op missions. The skill tree, I don't care about a skill. Dude, what do you like? What am I do? Like, what are we playing? It's so ridiculous, man. Like, I know Overwatch has to evolve in some way, or maybe it doesn't. I mean, you've probably heard this analogy before. Counter-Strike has not evolved that much. I know it's obviously always changing, you know, small tweaks, blah, blah, blah. It has not changed that much. Even League of Legends, I know he loves League, has not changed that much. It's still, what is it, 3 lanes? It's still like, imagine if they added FPS type of things to League of Legends, right? How would League players feel about that? Right? How stupid would that be? Yet he is so willing to put all these MOBA elements into our game. I don't get as excited for it as other people do, and I can tell based off this like versus dislike ratio, I'm obviously in the minority here. I don't even know if you guys will agree with me, but this is just how I feel about it. This is how I felt when I watched this video the first time, and I just wanted to share it with you.
But what it could be or what it would be, Jeff Watch. Make your move. Bye-bye.
It's so obvious to me that Overwatch 2, from what I've seen now, is nothing but a cash cow. It is just Blizzard trying to maximize and get as much money as they can. And they tried to spoon feed us this like Junkenstein's Revenge bullshit. And the other events, that was on like King's Row, that was also PvE. They really tried to force this down our throats, and lots of people got bored of it. And then they put it back in again, repeatedly, year after year. They didn't even change it. No one really liked it other than like going for the high score on the leaderboard. A majority of the player base is still playing the game of Overwatch. They didn't spend all their time in Junkenstein's Revenge. Sure, maybe they dabbled in it here and there, but that was not like, do you want to worry about like this side thing of like PvE, or do you want to like focus on making like Overwatch better? Like, I don't know. It seems silly to me that Blizzard would put so much time into PvE. Although I will say it's kind of a good thing that they're putting so much time into PvE, because I think it's indicative that the multiplayer aspect, the competitive aspect, is going to remain mostly the same. And they don't want to push out Overwatch 2, basically just like a reskin of what it is now. That is a good thing. It's basically, Overwatch 2 is just going to be an expansion. That is what I think it's going to be. It's the PvE, he seems to be getting really excited for it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people excited for it, but I'm telling you right now, most true, real, I know that you might not like those words, Overwatch players are going to be playing Overwatch. They're not going to be playing PvE. It's just disappointing to me that I would see so many likes like this and so many views from a person that obviously does not even really love Overwatch. He has a completely different idea or conception of what the game should be, and a different, and I will say incorrect idea of what the game is. He said Tracer's bad. He said Widow's bad. I mean, kind of just tells you everything. But yeah, I just felt like I had to say some stuff on this because I disagreed with so much of it. I had to share. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.